Some sounds aren't meant to wake you. Some reflections aren't supposed to move. And some things that watch you at night were never human to begin with. Tonight, you'll hear 6 stories, each one darker than the last. Buried screams that were never heard, reflections that don't belong to you, and something that watches you while you sleep. So, before you go any further, make sure you're truly alone, because after this, you might not be. Are you ready to open the door to fear? Then put on your headphones. I'm Azad, Ga Chomchom. Tonight's real story comes from Raihan. I was deep inside the most peaceful dream I had experienced in months. Warm sunlight touched my skin, and I could hear distant laughter, soft, comforting, almost familiar. It felt real, too real. Then suddenly, bang! A loud metallic pounding shattered everything. My eyes snapped open. At first, I couldn't understand where I was. Darkness surrounded me, thick, suffocating darkness that pressed against my eyes. I tried to move, but something was wrong. My arms barely responded. My chest felt tight, like something heavy was crushing it. Then I heard it again. Thud, thud, thud. It wasn't just noise. It was above me. A slow, horrifying realization crept into my mind like icy fingers crawling down my spine. I couldn't see. I couldn't move. And something was covering me. I tried to scream, but my voice came out as a dry, broken whisper. My throat felt clogged, as if filled with dust. Panic surged through my veins. My heart began pounding violently against my ribs. Then I heard it, a faint, muffled sound. At first, I thought it was just the echo of my own heartbeat, but no, it was different, rhythmic, soft, like dirt being thrown. My breathing became frantic. My fingers twitched desperately, scratching at the surface above me. Rough wood. Splinters dug into my skin. My nails scraped uselessly, producing a dull, hollow sound. A coffin. I was inside a coffin. No, 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 I whispered, my voice trembling in the darkness. Above me, the sound continued. Shh, thud, shh, thud. The unmistakable sound of soil being shoveled, covering me. Each layer of dirt made the sound quieter, more distant. The world above was fading away. I began kicking, pushing, clawing with whatever strength I had left. My lungs screamed for air. Help, please, I'm here! I tried to shout, but my voice was barely audible, even to myself. The air was getting thinner, hot, heavy, unbearable. My chest tightened, as if invisible hands were squeezing the life out of me. I gasped, but each breath felt smaller than the last. Then suddenly, the pounding stopped. Complete silence. Not even the sound of dirt anymore. Just nothing. For a brief moment, hope flickered inside me. Maybe they heard me. Maybe they stopped. Maybe... Then... a faint sound interrupted my thoughts, not from above, but from beside me. A slow, dragging sound, like something moving in the darkness. My blood turned cold. I froze completely, my body refusing to move. Then I felt it, a slight shift. The wood beside me creaked, as if something or someone was pressing on the other side. My breath caught in my throat. I wasn't alone. In the suffocating darkness of that coffin, there was something else buried with me. And then a whisper right next to my ear, soft, rotting, inhuman. You shouldn't have woken up.
My entire body went numb. That whisper, it wasn't a dream. It wasn't my imagination. It was real, horribly real. A cold breath brushed against my ear again, damp and foul, carrying the stench of rot, like something long dead had just exhaled beside me. I tried to move, to push away, but there was nowhere to go. The coffin was too tight. My shoulders were pressed against the wooden walls, my legs barely able to twitch. Who's there? I managed to whisper, my voice shaking uncontrollably. No response. Only silence. For a moment I thought maybe, just maybe, I had imagined it. Then, scratch. Something dragged slowly on the inside wall of the coffin. Not above me, not outside, inside, right beside me. My heart began pounding violently, each beat echoing in my skull. My breath came in short, sharp bursts as terror tightened around my chest. "Stop, please," I whispered, though I didn't know who or what I was begging. The scratching continued, slow, deliberate, like fingernails dragging across wood. Then I felt it, a light touch on my arm, cold, unnaturally cold. I jerked instinctively, slamming my elbow against the coffin lid. Pain shot through my arm, but I barely felt it. All I could focus on was that touch. Something was inside with me, something that shouldn't be alive. My breathing turned into frantic gasps. The air was nearly gone now, thick and suffocating. Every inhale burned my lungs. "Get away from me!" I tried to scream, but it came out as a weak, broken rasp. Then suddenly, the thing moved closer. I could feel it now, pressed against me. Its body, if it even was a body, felt wrong. Too thin, too rigid in some places, too soft in others, like something that had decayed and yet still moved. Its fingers, long, skeletal, began crawling up my arm. I squeezed my eyes shut, as if that would somehow protect me from the horror I couldn't even see. "Why?" I croaked. A pause. Then that same whisper returned, closer this time, inside my head. "They buried us together." Us? No, that wasn't possible. I remembered now. Fragments, a funeral, voices, crying. But it wasn't my funeral. It was someone else's. Someone I had gone to see. Someone who had died. My thoughts spiraled as the truth clawed its way to the surface. I wasn't supposed to be here. I wasn't the one meant to be buried. A sharp pain exploded in my chest as panic overwhelmed me completely. I thrashed wildly, ignoring the lack of space, ignoring the thing touching me. "I'm not dead!" I screamed with the last bit of air in my lungs. But the darkness didn't care. The earth above didn't care. And the thing beside me, it began to laugh. A low, wet, broken sound. "You will be." Its fingers tightened around my wrist. The pressure increased, slowly, painfully. Something cracked. I gasped, but no air came in. My vision, though already dark, seemed to collapse inward. My body weakened, my movement slowed, and in those final moments, I felt its face press against mine, cold, decayed, smiling. Then everything went silent, forever.
Before the rest of the story begins, I need to ask, are you facing this fear alone? How does it feel? Write it in the comments. If you're new here, subscribe. I woke up suddenly, not from a nightmare, but from a sound.
A sharp, hollow knocking. Tap, tap, tap. For a few seconds, I lay still, staring into the darkness of my room, trying to understand where I was. My breathing was slow, heavy with sleep. Everything felt normal, except that sound. Tap, tap, tap. My eyes shifted toward the window. Probably just a branch, I muttered under my breath. It was late, too late for anything else. The kind of deep night where even the air feels frozen. I sat up slowly, rubbing my eyes, trying to wake myself fully. The knocking continued, soft, measured, almost intentional. I glanced at the window again. The curtains were slightly open and pale moonlight spilled across the floor, but nothing moved outside. No wind, no trees brushing against the glass. Still, tap, tap, tap. This time I frowned. "That's not the window," I whispered. The sound felt closer. I turned my head slowly, and that's when I saw it. The mirror. It stood across the room, tall and silent, reflecting the dim outline of my bed, and me sitting on it. I stared at my reflection. It stared back. Everything looked normal. But then, tap, tap, tap. The sound came again, clearer now, sharper, and unmistakably, from the mirror. A chill ran down my spine. My throat went dry instantly. I forced out a nervous laugh. "Okay, not funny," I whispered, though I lived alone. There was no one there to hear it. I kept staring at the mirror. Nothing moved. My reflection remained perfectly still. Too still. Then something felt off. My heart skipped a beat. I leaned forward slightly, squinting. My reflection wasn't breathing. I froze. I could feel my chest rising and falling rapidly, but the version of me inside the mirror was completely still. A cold wave of fear washed over me. No, that's not possible. I slowly raised my hand. Inside the mirror, nothing. My reflection didn't move. It just sat there, watching me. My breathing turned uneven. My fingers trembled as I slowly lowered my hand back down. "That's not me," I whispered. Then the reflection smiled. Not a normal smile. Too wide, too slow, stretching unnaturally across its face. My blood turned to ice. I stumbled backward on the bed, my heart slamming against my ribs. "What are you?" I choked out. The thing in the mirror didn't answer. It just kept smiling. Then, tap, tap, tap. This time, from the inside, the reflection slowly lifted its hand and knocked on the glass from the other side.
I couldn't breathe. My entire body locked in place as I stared at the mirror. That thing, it looked exactly like me, but it wasn't me. Not anymore. Its smile widened even further, stretching beyond what any human face should allow. The skin around its mouth seemed too tight, as if it would tear at any second. Then, tap, tap, tap. It knocked again. From inside. My chest tightened as panic took over. "This isn't real. This isn't real," I kept repeating under my breath, trying to convince myself. But deep down, I knew it was. The thing in the mirror slowly tilted its head, mimicking curiosity, like it was studying me. Then, in a sudden, unnatural motion, it stood up. but I hadn't moved. A cold wave of terror shot through my entire body. It shouldn't be able to do that. It shouldn't be able to move on its own. I scrambled backward on the bed, nearly falling off as I tried to put distance between myself and the mirror. "Stay away," I whispered, though I didn't even know what I was talking to. The reflection stepped closer to the glass. Now it was standing directly in front of me, closer than I was. Its eyes, my eyes, locked onto mine, but there was nothing human in them, just emptiness and hunger. Then something impossible happened. It raised its hand again, but instead of stopping at the surface, its fingers pressed through the mirror, like the glass wasn't even there. I gasped, my voice catching in my throat. "No, no, no, no." The fingers stretched out, long and distorted, pushing further into my world. The glass rippled around them like water, warping its shape. Then the hand came through completely, followed by the arm. My heart felt like it was about to explode. I jumped off the bed, stumbling backward until my back hit the wall. "Stay back," I shouted, but it didn't listen. It stepped forward, and the rest of its body slipped out of the mirror. Now it was standing in my room, with me. For a moment, we just stared at each other. Two identical faces, one terrified, one smiling. Then it spoke. Its voice sounded like mine, but twisted, hollow, like it was echoing from a deep, empty place. "You've been looking at me for so long." It took another step closer. "Now it's my turn." I shook my head violently. "No, no, you're not real." But it didn't stop. It kept coming, slowly, calmly, like it knew I couldn't escape. I turned to run, but before I could take a step, something grabbed my wrist, cold, unnaturally strong. I looked down. Its hand wrapped tightly around me. I struggled, trying to pull free, but its grip only tightened. Then it leaned in close, so close I could feel its breath on my face. "We can't both exist." My heart dropped. "What?" It smiled again, and I'm already outside. Before I could react, everything went dark. For a brief moment, I felt weightless, like I was falling. Then I slammed into something hard, cold, smooth. I opened my eyes, and my blood ran cold. I was inside the mirror. I banged on the glass desperately. "No, let me out!" But no sound came out. Outside, it stood there, in my room, wearing my face, living my life. It looked at me one last time and smiled. Then it turned away and walked out of the room, leaving me trapped, watching forever.
Before the rest of the story begins, I need to ask, are you facing this fear alone? How does it feel? Write it in the comments. If you're new here, subscribe.
It started with something small, something easy to ignore. That night felt completely normal. I had locked my doors, checked the windows, and turned off all the lights before going to bed. Living alone had made me careful, maybe even a little paranoid, but I preferred it that way. Nothing unusual ever happened until that morning. I woke up to the sharp buzz of my phone vibrating beside my pillow. Still half asleep, I reached for it and squinted at the screen. A notification New photos saved. I frowned. That's weird, I muttered. I didn't remember taking any photos, especially not in the middle of the night. Still lying in bed, I unlocked my phone and opened the gallery. The newest image sat at the top. For a second, I hesitated. Something felt wrong. A strange, creeping unease crawled under my skin, like my instincts were trying to warn me. Slowly, I tapped the photo, and my heart stopped. It was me, sleeping, exactly where I was right now. Same bed, same position, same room. The phone slipped slightly in my trembling hand. No, that's not possible. The picture was taken from the corner of the room, high enough to capture the entire bed. The angle was impossible unless someone had been standing there, watching me sleep. A cold wave of terror washed over me. I sat up instantly, scanning the room. Nothing. The door was still locked. The windows were still shut. No signs of anyone. But the picture was real. My breathing became uneven as I zoomed in on the image. At first, everything looked normal. Just me, asleep. But then, I noticed something that made my blood run cold. In the picture, my eyes were open, wide, staring directly at the camera. I froze. Slowly, instinctively, I lifted my hand to my face. My eyes were closed when I woke up. I knew they were. So how? How could I be staring at the camera when I was asleep? That's not me, I whispered. My heart began pounding violently again as another thought crept into my mind. If that wasn't me, then who was lying in my bed? My fingers trembled as I zoomed in further. The face looked exactly like mine. Every detail, every shadow, perfect. But the eyes, they didn't feel human. There was something empty in them. Something watching, not sleeping, watching. Then, suddenly, my phone vibrated again. Another notification. With shaking hands, I looked down. New photo saved. My stomach dropped. Slowly, I opened it. This time, the angle was closer, much closer. The picture showed me, sitting on the bed, holding my phone, looking at the screen. My breathing stopped. That picture was taken just seconds ago. I didn't move. I couldn't move. Then, a soft sound broke the silence. Click. Right behind me. My entire body froze. That sound? Click. It was unmistakable. The sound of a camera shutter. And it came from right behind me. My breath stopped. My heart pounded so loudly I could barely hear anything else. Every instinct screamed at me to turn around, but something deep inside, something primal, warned me not to. If I turned, I would see it. Slowly, painfully slowly, I lowered my phone. My hands were shaking uncontrollably now. "This isn't real," I whispered, but the silence behind me felt alive, heavy, watching. Then I felt it, a faint breath, cold, right against the back of my neck. My eyes widened in terror, my throat tightened, but no scream came out. I wasn't alone. I had never been alone. Tears blurred my vision as my mind raced for an explanation, any explanation, but there was none. The doors were locked, the windows sealed. There was nowhere anyone could have entered from, unless it had always been there, with me, watching me, sleeping beside me, living with me. Another vibration shook my phone. I flinched.
Slowly, I looked down. New photo saved. My hands felt numb as I opened it. This time, the image made my soul collapse. It was me, still sitting on the bed, still holding the phone, but now there was something behind me. A figure, tall, dark, its face inches away from mine, and worst of all, it was smiling. Not a normal smile, a stretched, unnatural grin that didn't belong on any human face. My breathing turned into silent, broken gasps. No, no, no. Then I noticed something even worse. The figure, it looked exactly like me. Same face, same body, same everything, but distorted. Wrong, like a broken copy of who I was supposed to be. I didn't want to turn around. I knew I shouldn't, but my body betrayed me. Slowly, trembling, I began to turn my head. Just a little, just enough to see a reflection, not in a mirror, not in glass, but in the dark screen of my phone. And there it was, right behind me, standing too close, smiling too wide, watching me, waiting. Then it spoke. Its voice was my voice, but deeper, hollow. You finally see me. My blood ran cold. Always awake, watching, even when I slept, even when I thought I was alone. Another click echoed in the room. My phone slipped from my hand. I didn't dare move anymore, didn't dare breathe. Then I felt it, its hand slowly rising onto my shoulder, cold, heavy, possessive. Your life looks better from this side. My heart stopped. Before I could react, everything went black. When I opened my eyes again, I was lying on the bed. Morning light filled the room. Everything felt normal. Too normal. I sat up slowly, my head spinning. Was it a dream? I whispered. My phone lay beside me. I grabbed it quickly and opened the gallery. No photos. Nothing. Empty. I let out a shaky breath. Thank God. Relief washed over me. Maybe it really was just a nightmare. Maybe... Then the screen flickered. A new notification appeared. Front camera active. My smile faded. Slowly, I lifted the phone. The screen turned on, and my heart stopped for the last time. It was me, looking into the camera, smiling. But I wasn't smiling. Not in real life, only on the screen. Then, my reflection on the phone screen blinked and whispered, "Go back to sleep." The screen went black, and from somewhere behind me, I heard my own voice, laughing.
For now, we stop here, but the night still holds many unknown stories. Stay with us for more heart-pounding horror tales, if you can face the darkness.